Hi, I'm Andrea Sordo, and this is my problem cause solution persuasive speech. Driving through your hometown, you pass by the same old familiar businesses, but over time you see them get run down and remodeled into something you're completely not used to. You pass through your old neighborhood and are shocked to see so many unfamiliar faces living in the houses you've known for years. And suddenly it hits you and you realize the city is not the same. It's completely different, completely changed. The old donut shop down the street has become the trendy new ice cream spot. And the old neighborhood around the corner has turned into some big fancy apartment complex. This process, where rundown urban areas change because of new businesses and new housing, is known as gentrification. These changes can lead to increases in a city's tax revenues, but can also drive out local residents from their homes, leaving them helpless and stranded, nowhere to go. Gentrification has increased throughout the cities of America since the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, when the U.S. government recognized troubled urban areas as qualified opportunity zones. The uprising of gentrification can be attributed by, but not limited to, the slowing of marriage patterns, leading to the decline in couples having kids and raising families. As a result, young people are residing in urban areas as opposed to spending their time out in the suburbs. Gentrification is harmful because it drives out local residents, making housing and owning businesses unaffordable, and leaves minority groups and local low-income families struggling to make ends meet. For years now, gentrification of cities has left families homeless, searching for new homes in different cities, which eventually succumb to gentrification. So even if these families leave their gentrified areas that they can no longer afford, they go to a new area, a new neighborhood that within a couple of years is going to go through the same exact thing that they had just gone through. In 2015, NYU's Furman Center reported New York City's change in rent prices from 1990 to 2010, showing evidence of gentrification. The report shows that gentrifying neighborhoods saw an increase in rent up to 50% higher than the rest of the city. 50%. The increase of rent by such a great amount leaves residents with no choice but to move out of their homes and, find somewhere else to live. Like I had said before, they're just gonna go to a new place and go through the same cycle all over again. Along with dramatic rent increases, there was also an increase in non-family households in the same gentrifying areas. The uneven distribution of increased rent has driven out families who have lived in these neighborhoods for years, and in turn, young families without children have taken over their homes. In a study conducted by the Voorhees Center at the University of Illinois about the city of Chicago, researchers found that gentrified areas have become increasingly desirable to new younger couples and new developers. But the data also shows that these upwardly mobile neighborhoods are surrounded by many suburbs that have declined severely over the same time. So this is a result in displacing these local residents. So once they're displaced, they have no choice but to move to their neighboring areas. And as a result, these neighboring areas become overpopulated and they just can't support all those people, like financially, spatially, you name it. This goes to show that gentrification has pushed out residents and the other non-desirable aspects of a neighborhood and resulted in overpopulation of the surrounding areas. On top of this, neighborhoods that have a predominantly Black population have had a major decline in Black residents due to gentrification. And this goes for other people of color as well. Asian and Hispanic residents are also affected as their residency rates are lowered in gentrified areas as opposed to neighborhoods that are left alone, that haven't been gentrified by these new up-and-coming developments. Not only is gentrification sending people away from their neighborhood, it is also diminishing diversity rates, essentially segregating the neighborhoods. New affordable housing or new affordable apartments are a great solution to counteract the effects of gentrification. Although there's nothing stopping new residents from taking over as opposed to the displaced local residents. So even if new affordable housing is built, is made, new residents, out of towners can still move into these places as opposed to the people who really need to live in these new affordable homes. Preserving the affordability of existing apartments and homes before the inevitable rent increases is the only sure way to prevent the displacement of local residents. By preserving existing rent prices of current houses, residents are able to continue to live in their hometowns, and this also allows for new businesses to continue opening up as long as they start in vacant buildings. So if the rent is controlled and the prices are fixed, the local residents can still stay in their hometowns, and new businesses can still open up in vacant buildings, vacant homes, as long as they're not taking the homes away from people. Another solution to slow gentrification is help displaced residents is to introduce circuit breakers. Circuit breakers work to reduce property taxes by essentially giving tax relief to taxpayers who earn below a certain amount, and once their property taxes surpass a set percentage of their income, they receive this tax relief, and it sort of gives them a break so they're not fighting to survive. In New York City, gentrifying neighborhoods showed 50% higher tax increases as compared to non-gentrified cities, resulting in the removal of many low-income residents, and these residents flee into neighboring communities that are not equipped to occupy so many people, resulting in their decline. This goes to show that gentrification doesn't just affect the neighborhood, one neighborhood at a time, rather. It affects the city as a whole. It just affects, a greater area. In conclusion, gentrification should be stopped because it drives out long-term residents, makes housing and owning a business unaffordable, and makes low-income families struggle to make ends meet. Thank you.